Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked for this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have the Onoto, this is the Charles Dickens, and this is the David Copperfield. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902 edition. We have the Majohn Titanium TI-136. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition of Robert Louis Stevenson. We have a Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition Le Petit Prince Aviator Solitaire Doué. And this is the first time I've seen these two side by side. This is really quite an interesting lineup here. The next pen here is the Majohn P138 in white, a Majohn P138 in orange. We've got a Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea, and we've got an Asvine, and this is the V126. So I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this is the Onoto, and this is the Charles Dickens David Copperfield. I really do like this pen. I've had this in my collection almost a year now. It was December last year that I picked this up around the Christmas period. I think I ordered it on Christmas Eve, and from Roy at I'll say Onoto. It's not Roy at Izod's. And it arrived, I think, the day after Boxing Day. Very glad I picked this up. It was one of these pens that it wasn't on his website, but it was on his eBay channel. So I was glad that I picked this up. And there's been a few pens like that I've noticed. Now, this came with an Onoto number 7 size. I've got an 18 karat gold. That's a medium nib there. It's a cartridge converter pen. You can post the cap. It's a decent pen. I have to say that I am liking this pen a lot. It really is an interesting pen. I didn't think I would like the grey so much, but I really have been drawn to it. It might be because I've been writing more with grey inks this year. It might be just because that's a really nice light pearlescent grey. I'm not so sure. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902. And this has got a mother of pearl there for the snowflake or snow cap or mountain cap. You've got the magnifying glass in there with a Hound of the Baskervilles that actually does glow in the dark. You've got a wood piston knob to signify the pipe or smoker's pipe that Sherlock Holmes would smoke. And then you've got various place markers around this body. It's an interesting pen. I love Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stories, more so the Sherlock Holmes stories though. And you've got Sir Arthur Conan Doyle there on the nib. It's really a beautiful pen. I like it a lot. I can't post the cap on this one. I bought it brand new, but it was at quite a discount. So I was glad and lucky I was able to pick that one up when I did. There were, I think, 2 or 3 of those being sold at the time for a very good, like 35% off, I think it was. Something around that sort of off the retail price. So not bad price. The next pen inked up is a Majohn Titanium TI-136. Almost a Montblanc clone here of the Montblanc Martelet. You don't have the snowflake, thankfully. Like they've made a few changes to this. Like they've put the Majohn on the cap band there. I think they've changed the clip slightly as well. There are subtle changes that they've made, but you do still have the ink window, and it is still piston filling. And obviously the nib, if you go for an extra fine, you can get a Majohn nib, but You can also get a Bock nib, and the medium comes with a lemon nib, which still I don't quite understand. If somebody knows why, then do let me know, because I would like to know. You can post the cap, but it does grip onto that piston, so you always have to be a little bit careful removing it. I have known of people breaking piston knobs before, or not necessarily the knob, but they've gone to pull the cap off because maybe they posted it a bit too tightly and the piston rod inside has snapped. So you do have to be careful when posting on a piston pen. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc, and this is the Writer's Edition Robert Louis Stevenson, and it's a Treasure Island theme. So you've got the skull and crossbones, you've got, I think, what is a peg leg, you've got a compass there, you've got the telescope, and you've got the X's on the map, and then the larger X marks the spot of the treasure. Very nicely themed pen, and I have to take my hands off to Montblanc. Their designers are really good when they come up with these theme of pens. And then, yeah, you've got the number 6 size 18 karat gold medium nib there. It is a piston filling pen. It really does feel nice in my hand. I like that pen a lot. And I wonder how long it takes, not only Montblanc, but other pen manufacturers, how long it takes for them to come up with a new design of a model. Like, if you think about it, most pen manufacturers, like, let's say, Aurora, Visconti in a lot of cases, Montegrappa in a lot of cases, certainly Leonardo or Sailor, most of them keep to a de facto sort of standard of models. Like, they may have like 3, 4, or 5 different models in their lineup, but then they just change the colours. And so Montblanc are actually changing the whole model. So that is a lot more work. And I think that is also why that Montblanc charge what they charge as well. Because they're not one-offs, as in, like, they've probably made like 30,000 of them. But they are one-off in terms of the design. It's not, they're not going to be able to milk that design and make like 500 or 700,000 pens out of it, because that design has been done and then they're moving on to another design. The next one inked up is the Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days, and you can see the Montblanc snow cap there. You've got the elephant on the plaque, and then you've got this beautiful engraving going on here on the wood. This is like an ebony wood here. I think the black ebony with the gold trims really makes it look nice. You've also got a little diamond. It's a ruby there. It's a beautiful pen, and I love this pen a lot. It's a number 6 size Montblanc 18 karat gold nib. It's a medium nib. You've got a hot air balloon on that nib there. You can't post a cap on this one. Unfortunately, it's not designed to do so, but I do like this. It is a very nice, hefty pen. When I looked that up online and I saw the weight was about 75 grams in weight, I was like, wow, I really am going to like that pen, because I like heavy pens. And likewise, the same with this pen, which is the Montblanc Writer's Edition Le Petit Prince Aviator Solitaire Doué. You've got the Montblanc snowflake or snow cap there. You've got essentially what is a brown leather, stitched leather cap, which is over, I think, a platinum body. You've got the plane here from the story. You've got the planets. And then you've got this platinum body here, which is laser engraved, and you've got the Le Petit Prince there as well. It's a piston filling pen. You've also got this enameled star. That was the star to guide him through the night. And I have to say that this is a nice pen. Glad I could pick this up when I did. It's a number 6 size Montblanc 18 karat gold medium nib piston filling pen. Again, you cannot post the cap. But not only are the sizes of these pens almost identical, if you look here, you've got the red ruby diamond there, and also you've got this enamel star here as well. So I think there's quite a bit that actually transfers over between models on Montblancs that give them that idea. And I have to say, I like both of those pens. And I think I would like another pen if it came out in the same size. I will be looking out for those. I definitely would like a Montblanc Martelet. I'd like maybe a Montblanc Legrand Sterling Silver. I'd like one of those, but we'll have to see. I'm not going out my way to find them, but if I do find one online or find one for a good price, then maybe I will buy it. Now, the next pen inked up is the Majohn, and this is the P139 in white. This has got a number 8 size nib. It does say Moonman there on the back of the pen, but it is Majohn. Majohn is the new name for Moonman. And if you unscrew the cap, you'll see a huge nib. And I want to say that that is a 9 or a 10. It's not an 8. I've measured it. It's definitely not an 8 in terms of in comparison with other number 8 size nibs. It's a shorter pen, but it's a chunky, wider pen with a large nib. And I can post the cap, but it does post onto the piston a little, so you do have to be a little bit careful when we're moving that. But even in the size of my hand there, it's not a bad size. I can write with it without the cap being posted. But just look at that nib. That nib is humongous. You could get this in a number 6 size nib. I got it in a number 8 purely because I wanted a number 8. And I think the number 8 nibs speak to me more. Most of my pens are number 6 size nib, but sometimes you just need a number 8 size nib. And I got this one at the same time. Again, a Majohn P139. These are Montblanc clones, no doubt about it. This really does look like the Ernest Hemingway Writer's Edition. Same style clip as well. So it is, and this cost £50, or £52 imported for me. But again, size of my hand is pretty good. I can post the cap if I want to as well. But again, it does post a little bit onto the back of the piston. So you do need to be a bit careful. I do like it's got an ink window in these. I do like it's a piston and a very large nib. So for me, I got that one inked up again this week as well. The next pen inked up, not had it inked up for a little while now. It's the Benu Euphoria Earl Grey Tea. This has got real tea leaves and lavender infused into that resin. I really don't know how they do it, but I'm in awe that they do. This is quite amazing. I've got a silver sticker here just to denote that this has got a grey ink in it. And I still love this pen a lot. I've got a broad and I've got a medium. This is the medium. It's a cartridge converter pen, and you can post that cap as well. So that really helps as well. I'd love to know how Benu do this, getting tea infused into that resin. I'm pretty sure that they're creating a slab or a block. And I don't know. I don't know how they do this. Do they? Because if they just sprinkle it in there when it's like super, like liquid form of resin, then it's all just going to sink to the bottom. So are they doing this one by one, or like in a pressurized container like some people do? I don't know. But it's beautiful. I would think if they did that, then this gold wouldn't all appear like it does. So, and maybe it's a multi-factor staged approach in creating that material. But beautiful material. I have to take my hat off to Benu. That is really, really good. And then the last pen inked up is the Asvine V126. This is like the Omos Ogiva in many ways. Again, another sort of clone from Asvine here. But I do like this a lot. It's got a number 6 size nib, medium nib. It was scratchy, was very dry writing. It is a vac filling pen, not a piston pen. I can post that and it posts deeply and securely. And I can also, like, a lot of the time, I'll find that there's several threads here, and I've got a couple that are locking there. If it doesn't line up, you can just unscrew that a little bit and rotate the clip around. So I do like that on this pen a lot. I know a lot of people haven't realized that until I showed that on camera on a previous video, but that is quite a nice easy way of realigning that clip if you have a little bit of OCD tendency. So there you have it. That's my Conan ink pens for this week. I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen inked up this week is the Onoto Charles Dickens, and this is the David Copperfield. So we'll do an ink swatch here, and I'm pretty sure I know what this ink is, but I'm going to need to double check it, just to fact check it. So this is the Onoto Charles Dickens, and it's the David Copperfield. And Charles Dickens wrote David Copperfield. It's a medium and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And I'm just going to double check just to make sure. Yeah, thought it was. But sometimes you do just have to double check yourself. It is KWZ Old Smoke. And as much as I thought it was KWZ Old Smoke, I did think that actually this is writing quite wet. So that's the reason why I had to think and double check. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition. This is the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902 edition. We'll do an ink swatch here. And I hadn't actually written with this for a little while now, so that's why it was a little bit hard starting then. So this is the Montblanc, and it's the, I'm going to brew it to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902. It's a medium and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Montblanc, and it's toffee brown. But that is a nice coloured ink. I think it matches that pen quite nicely. The next pen inked up is the Majohn Titanium TI 136. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is a beautiful wet nib and feed. And I have to say I am loving this. I did tune the nib though. So this is the Majohn Titanium TI 136. And this is in a medium steel nib. And the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition Robert Louis Stevenson. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see that this is quite a nice writing nib. So this is the Montblanc Robert Louis Stevenson in a medium 18 karat gold nib. And the ink in here is Diamine Graphite, which is a dark grey ink, although a little bit darker than Diamine Earl Grey. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days. So we'll do an ink swatch here. But again, another lovely writing nib. So this is the Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days. And it's a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Sailor Gentle Kin Makusai, which is a very beautiful, punchy, vibrant orange ink. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition. This is the Le Petit Prince Aviator Solitaire Doué. We'll do an ink swatch. And again, a lovely writing nib. I really do think Montblanc go the extra mile with their nibs. So this is a Montblanc Le Petit Prince. Helps if I can actually do an E and not an R. Le Petit Prince Aviator. But it's also the Solitaire Doué. It's a medium and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is KWZ Nuki Brown, which is a UK pen show exclusive. And Nuki is short for Newcastle, and Nuki Brown is short for Newcastle Brown Ale, which is a lovely ale, and an ale that I used to drink a number of years ago. The next pen inked up is the Majohn P139. So this is the one with the larger number 8 nib. And I am going to try and widen the tines on this a little bit by increasing the ink flow and also maybe smoothing that nib out a little bit just to make it a little bit more of a western medium. So this is the Majohn P139 in a number 8 nib. Which is medium, and it's a steel nib. And then the ink in here is Sailor Shikiori, and it's Fuyu Sugata. But that's a very nice sort of lavender coloured ink. The next pen inked up is another Majohn P139 in orange. But this, again, has a number 8 size nib. I find this nib now writes better than the other one. And that's why I think I need to just maybe improve the other one a little bit more. So this is the Majohn P139 with a number 8. Say 8, I think it's a number 9 or 10. Medium, it's a steel nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine. I know it's not Christmas yet, but it's Ho Ho Ho. Which is a beautiful, bright red, punchy red ink. And really, really like that colour. The next pen inked up is the Diamine, not Diamine, the Benu Euphoria Earl Grey Tea. Why did I say Diamine? So this is, we'll do an ink swatch first, but this is a very, very beautiful ink. So this is the Benu Euphoria Earl Grey Tea. And it's a medium and it's an 18 karat gold nib. This nib does have a little bit of feedback to it, but I like that it's also wet as well. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey, which is beautiful grey ink, which I also have inked up here as well. And the last pen inked up is the Asvine V126. So V for VAC filling pen. And then the ink is getting a little bit low on ink now. It's still got a lot there though. We'll do an ink swatch here. And I love how this nib writes as well. I did tune it myself though, so that's probably why. So this is the Asvine V126 in a medium steel nib. And the ink in here is KWZ Beef Eater Red. Which, again, is a UK Pen Show exclusive ink. Beef Eater for the Beef Eaters in the London Tower. It's a tradition. So, I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. We've got an Onoto, Charles Dickens, David Copperfield in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Old Smoke. We have a Montblanc, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902 edition in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Montblanc Toffee Brown. We have a Majohn Titanium TI 136 in a medium steel nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Montblanc Robert Louis Stevenson in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Graphite. We have a Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Sailor Gentle Kin Makusai. We have a Montblanc Le Petit Prince Aviator Solitaire Doué in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Nuki Brown. We have a Majohn P139 in a number 8 size medium steel nib inked up with Sailor Shikiori Fuyu Sugata. We have another Majohn P139 in a number 8 medium steel nib inked up with Diamine Ho Ho Ho. We have a Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. And last but not least, we have the Asvine V126 in a medium steel nib inked up with KWZ Beef Eater Red. So there you have it. That's my currently ink pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.